to be an unmatched engineering genius. The guy has an IQ of 300, he's a skilled mechanic, and apparently has...
I built a TV out of paper clips.
Yeah.
And reprogrammed a supercomputer using dishwashing detergent and a toothpick.
Basically, he can do anything. Well, anything except fly.
Oh, mayday, mayday!
That was embarrassing. At least he's got his tails. Or does he? Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, where today we're rolling around at the speed of a relatively slow tractor trailer. 3 months ago, I said I wouldn't be doing another Sonic physics video until 20 million subscribers. But man, with everyone talking about that new real-life Sonic movie, and how could they not be? I mean, look at those legs. Like, really, look at them. Ugh. Anyway, I figured now was the perfect time to explore other ways that reality is gonna ruin this franchise. Meaning that I'm turning my Theorist magnifying glass onto Tails. But what did poor Tails ever do to you, Mad Pat? Said someone who has a lot of emotional attachment to a video game character. And to that I say, he's actually had this coming for a long time. Ever since I learned how to do helicopter physics calculations back during the Chun-Li episode, I've had Tails in my theoretical crosshairs to see if his tails actually have the lift power the game says they do, or if he would crash and burn under the power of real-world physics. Tails is unquestionably everyone's favorite anthropomorphic fox, who uses his tails to form a single rotor system, spinning fast enough to hover off the ground, propel himself forward at some pretty incredible speeds, and even go fast enough to keep up with Sonic, which, according to my old math, isn't that hard because he's slow, but if you're following his cannon top speed, that's over Mach 1, so pretty darn fast. Now, because we like Tails so much, we need to grant him a little bit of leniency here right off the bat. Having two tails, but presumably no actual rotor mechanism, you know, in that tushy region of his, Tails' tails would actually just become tangled if you tried to spin him all the time. But to write off his powers in that way is just no fun. So we're gonna assume that he has some magic butt pivot going on in his foxy hindquarters to make it happen. We're also gonna assume that the planet Mobius isn't dealing with any intense wind speeds and that basically he's functioning in our own atmosphere. Otherwise, we would just have nothing to base our calculations on. So with those ground rules set, we'll be busting out our calculators and comparing what we know about Tails to real helicopter aerodynamics to see if he truly has what it takes to take off. To find out if anything will lift off the ground, we need to know how much it weighs, so we know how much gravity we're going to be fighting against. According to Sega, Tails has a cannon weight, yeah, you could learn a thing or two, Nintendo, of 20 kilograms, which is one enormous fox, by the way. Foxes usually top out at about 14 kilograms or about 30 pounds, whereas Tails here is 20 kilograms or over 44 pounds. The weight of an average 6-year-old. So already, Tails' chunky frame ain't gonna be helping out his liftoff because Tails would have to generate 196.2 newtons of force to enter a stable hover. The next important factor is the length and width of each tail. And when you detach and measure the size of his fully extended tail against his body, we can see that each tail is equivalent to his cannon height of 0.8 meters. We can also measure that the width is 0.26 meters, but these measurements aren't the same for all Sonic games. Because of course they're not. The math is never that easy. So